The advice and opinions expressed by Dr. Grandpichet and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice.
Dr. Doreen Grandpichet is
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grandpichet.
Dr. Grandpichet.
Dr. Doreen Grandpichet.
Dr. Doreen Grandpichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. We were with an ABA company who was very specific about not wanting us, not working with us if our son on our son's other issues like diet and allergies. Are all ABA companies like that?
God, I hope not. I hope not, but there
Well, we know they're not all, because CARD is not.
No, right. But it's more, yeah. I think a lot of ABA companies don't have any kind of policy around this, but I do think that a lot of BCBAs are trained this way.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And I think it's almost BCBAs, board certified behavior analysts, it's almost like they feel like they have to be protective of ABA, and they think the way to be protective is to poo-poo on other stuff. Now, what is fascinating to me is that, forget about the field of autism as a whole, just look at the general population and the number of people in the general population who themselves now have a gastrointestinal issue.
Yes.
Okay. That to me is what's key, right? Because over the years, that has just increased. There used to, for those of us who are older, we know that there was a day when you never saw on TV a commercial either about a probiotic, a prebiotic foods, pharmaceutical medications that are just focused on irritable bowel with constipation, with diarrhea, you name it. I mean, GI disorders across the country have increased exponentially over the last couple of decades. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole nother discussion that, we could get into about how wonderful our food and soil is. Mm. But all of that it exists. So whenever I'm giving lectures to our BCBAs, I can't ask them because, it wouldn't be legal for me to say, how many of you guys have GI issues? But I tell them, think about this, guys. Think about yourselves and think about the fact that imagine if you had some mental issue, like let's say you had anxiety, and the psychologist who's working with you would say, I'm not going to treat you if you're also taking a probiotic. Just think about that. Yeah. So it is a very, very horrible thing that people in the behavioral field think that they have the right to take away from a child, from a family, any kind of intervention that the family feels is appropriate. I do want to say that the other side of this, Shannon, is that over the years, there's been a lot of people who try to make money off of autism.
Oh, yeah.
So there's been a lot of that. And I think there's, I'm always worried when the next thing comes along and people are like, oh my God, I wonder if that's a cure. And listen, we all fall into that trap when we have something going on and there's no clear path. Yeah. We're always like, I should try this, I should try that. Because there was a period of time where there was a group of people who had a cruise. It was like they had rented a ship or something, and they would do a cruise, and they would market it as the recovery cruise. Bring your child on this cruise, and your child will recover. Do you remember that?
No.
There was a time when blood transfusions were thought to be the cure. There was a time when swimming with dolphins was supposed to improve autism. There was a time when lots and lots of people would mortgage their homes in order to have $20,000, $40,000 so they could pay for 20 dives of a hyperbaric chamber for autism. I mean, there have been a lot of things out there. Yeah. So I can understand that people are also, scientists, behaviorists who want to say, I'm a scientist. They want to have proof They want to have interventions that have some sort of result. But what people don't understand, Shannon, is that it's not always about immediately reducing the symptoms of autism. Sometimes it's just about making the individual feel better so that they can learn.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
Don't forget, you can watch Ask Dr. Doreen live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We hope to see you there.